To see everyone. I hope everybody's doing well. I'll wait for people to get in and then we'll get started. I'm just kind of hanging out here. Got done. My neighbor, I was going to go live a little earlier, and then my neighbor came over with a plate of food. So I'm like, well, I guess it's time for me to eat. So that's what I did. I ate. Well, I haven't been in my emails in a little minute, so I figured I'd check these out while I'm here. We've got several breaking breaking cases right now. Ethan Crumbley, if you guys remember, Ethan Crumbley, he was the kid, the Oxford kid. He was convicted along with his mom and father. He actually he pled out, which was. I guess, instead of, they were probably doing what was best and trying to save the boy's life, obviously. And this was a way to save his life. He was, hey guys, it's nice to see you, Nanette, Frankie, Blue Eyes. Hey, we're getting caught up on a couple cases. There was a little bit of breaking news information coming out, over the last little, hey, sweet misery, it's nice to see you. And so it's Ethan Crumbley. It's the Oxford high school shooter. If you guys recall, this was kind of like a very historic case for the United States of America. This wasn't just a case of a kid that lost his stuff and became a mass unaliver. This is a case where the parents were held responsible for their child. This was a very epic case legally, in our United States. So it was a very interesting case to say the least, but nothing short of historic, if you will. And so both the parents were convicted of their crimes and are serving some lengthy prison sentences, obviously not as lengthy as their son. Their son was going to spend the rest of his life behind bars. But there's some things that are now coming out about Ethan, his mental capabilities, and some things that we may or may not have known at the time, such as his mom potentially drinking alcohol while she was pregnant with him. So the appellate attorneys waited they waited the last day that they had to get this brief over, or this appeal, these motions over to the Oakland County Circuit Court. So it was the very last day, and they obviously hit their deadline. But their arguments are very interesting, and I think that their arguments, depending, I haven't seen the motions, I haven't read the motions, I haven't heard how strong these are, what kind of medical opinions are being attached or what they're relying on, which they wouldn't, I don't think they would be proffering right now anyway. So the bottom line is they're basically saying that he has cognitive adaptive deficits and other mitigating factors. The motions that were filed the last day, and like I said, they were filed the last day, but I'm trying to find the breakdown. It does give us the breakdown of these. So Crumbley, 15 at the time of the shooting at Oxford High School, pleaded guilty in October 2022 of the unaliving of 4 classmates, Tate Myers, Madison Baldwin, Hannah St. Juliana, and Justin Schilling. He also pled guilty to injuring 6 other students and a teacher. He was sentenced to life without parole in December. The State Appellate Defender's Office, Jacqueline, I think it's Ouvray, Ouvray or something like that, I may be mistaken it, but said in a motion to withdraw the shooter's guilty plea and a motion to correct an invalid sentence that the shooter's cognitive adaptive dysfunctions, possibly caused by alcohol exposure in the womb, were never adequately raised during his plea and sentencing. Ethan was 16 years old, laboring with cognitive adaptive dysfunction, with suffering from mental illness, when he was tasked with evaluating whether to waive his trial rights and enter a plea. O'Vry wrote in the motion to withdraw the plea. So they're basically saying he didn't have the cognitive ability to enter into that guilty plea. So I don't know how this is going to go. They may, depending on how strong this is, and if they can prove that. I mean, I have to think that there is something. I mean, it appears that Ethan is suffering from something. It sounds like he was also bullied. It sounds like his parents didn't, it wasn't addressing his clear issues. It sounds like these things were becoming more and more noticeable, and they kept thinking that, that he would just grow out of it, or if they just, made him feel more, more powerful, that it'll, possibly help his, I don't know, self-esteem or whatnot. I don't know what was going subconsciously in their mind, or what their state of mind was. Do I agree with the sentencing? I really don't know how I feel about it personally. Like, I do feel like parents need to be held accountable for their children. But I just thought that they were so negligent and reckless, because they could clearly see that there was something going on with their son, and to even remotely provide him any type of weapon or ammunition. And if it was an outlet, maybe in a very controlled environment where mom and dad are there, and they go out for target practice together, something like that, where they retrieve the item and put it into the locked cabinet with the rest of their stuff, something like that maybe would be, they're taking responsibility and making sure that it's out. But I don't know, it seems like they were really avoiding getting him the proper medical treatment that he needed. Parents didn't care about him. It sounds like mom was obviously, if she was drinking while she was, has a baby in her belly, then she might have more problems than we know, to say the least. And many of you guys know we didn't really cover the case too awful much, but we did cover the case of Madalina Cojocari. Madalina Cojocari. It's in Cornelius, North Carolina, and I went there in Cornelius, and Cornelius was it was a beautiful place. It was small. It had like a bedroom, hometown feel to it. You had, like, everybody just seemed really, really friendly. And they did have a, mixed population there. And they had, it looked like, for all intents and purposes, everybody was happy, a safe place to live. And there didn't seem to be like a really bad part of that community. I'm sure there is, but like even in Kingsport, Tennessee, like their ran down area in Kingsport, Tennessee was a heck of a lot nicer than our ran down area here in Bradenton, So I don't know, what's what, but it seems so, it was really appealing. I can tell you that. Like even the lights going down the road were really, it just had a little touch of history to them, it seemed. So I thought it was a beautiful place. But her stepfather, her mother was convicted or pled guilty, and is going to be most likely deported out of the country. She wasn't from this country. And the stepfather, which basically is saying that him and and Madalina's mom were just kind of, they were married, but they were more of partners or whatever. And they believe that this would have been HA or HT, where she got compensated something to, that's what's being said. I don't believe it. I think both mom and stepdad look really rough and really mean and are really twisted people. And so I really think something terrible happened to her. And if they're willing to admit, putting a price tag You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's much, much worse than that because they want to still imply that she's healthy and well cared for, in my opinion. And I just, in my heart of hearts, don't believe that to be true when it comes to her. It just, none of this makes sense. In the movements of mom and dad after she disappeared scare the crap out of me. And this is just another one, but they've both been convicted now of failing to report the child's disappearance. And so I wanted to read this to you. A North Carolina jury on May 31st found Christopher Palmater, stepfather of missing Cornelius girl Madalina Cojocari, guilty of failure to report the disappearance of a child to law enforcement. The Mecklenburg County jury took 15 minutes after Palmater's week-long trial to reach a verdict, according to Fox 8 in Greensboro. He said he was the person in the role of supervising her, and he failed. That's why he's sitting in this seat. Mecklenburg County Prosecutor Austin Butler said in his closing arguments on Friday. Madalina was last seen getting off the bus in her hometown of Cornelius, just north of Charlotte, on November 21st, 2022. She was 11 years old. Authorities have been unable to locate her since. Her mother, Diana Cojocari, pled guilty last month to the same charges as Palmater. Diana, a Moldova native, and Palmater did not report the 11-year-old girl to police until weeks later on December 15th, 2022, despite telling police the last time they saw their daughter was at home on the evening of November 23rd, 2022. Mecklenburg County judge sentenced Palmater to serve a suspended 30-month supervised probation. I think that's just ridiculous, but whatever. They have their guidelines. 30 months supervised probation. Palmater's lawyers could not immediately be reached for comment. Palmater's defense attorney argued that Diana manipulated him and made him believe his stepdaughter was safe at the time of her disappearance. Prosecutors, however, included testimony from FBI analysts who presented phone and email evidence that suggested Palmater knew Madalina was missing, yet did not report her disappearance to authorities, according to Fox 8. It sounds like, according to this, mom was truly the driving force and behind her daughter's disappearance, which is concerning. Okay, it is concerning to me because I thought it was Chris, you know, because he's stepdad, and when I talked to the neighbors, it sounded like he would not let her out of his sight. For whatever reason, whenever she was 11 years old, and for example, she couldn't ride her bike around the block. When she rode her bike, she had to be slow enough that he could walk behind her. He was always around her. He was more than a hover stepfather, according to the neighbors that I spoke to. Their house was not a house that the neighbors would generally go to for Halloween. And when you looked around the neighborhood, even though they had a nice house, their house was the most rundown in the neighborhood. It wasn't kept up on the outside. And that was when I saw it. You know, when I saw it, they were still in jail. So in all fairness, it could have just been the fact that I had come. So I mean, in all fairness, you have to look at that lens too, because it had been some time and they had been arrested and in jail for a little bit. I'll have to go back through. I have a whole series on her. I don't think I dropped all of it yet. So Diana told school officials. Oh, he said, I think Diana took her somewhere with her Moldovan family. Palmater testified at his trial. I believe Diana has tucked her away somewhere where she's not going to be found. Diana told school officials in Cornelius police that she hasn't seen her daughter, a 6th grader at Bailey Middle School who was born in Moldova, since she went to bed the night on November 23rd, 2022 around 10 p.m. 10 p.m. seems to be a preferred time, doesn't it? It seems to be, I digress. And Palmater got into an argument, court documents state. Palmater said that on November 24th, 2022, he drove to his relative's home in Michigan to recover some items after an argument with his wife. So they have all these weird things going on as well, you know? Diana apparently went into her daughter's room around 11:30 that morning and discovered her 11-year-old was gone, according to an affidavit. When Palmater returned home to Cornelius on November 23rd, Diana apparently asked him where their daughter was, and Palmater asked Diana the same question, the affidavit says. Soon after reporting Madalina missing last year, her parents penned a handwritten note expressing their concern for her. So there you have it. He gets a 30-month suspended sentence. He's not going to be doing any more time in jail, but he had spent some significant time in jail. That's the other thing. He did you know, have to, him and the wife. He got out like 6 months before she did, though. Hey guys. It's nice to see you. For all those that are coming in, we had some updates. Ethan Crumbley is now appealing his conviction, or filing 2 motions. One, to withdraw his guilty plea, and something with the sentencing, to reverse the sentencing. So it looks like, and what they're saying is basically he didn't have the mental capacity to enter into that plea agreement because of some cognitive disabilities, and they believe he received these cognitive disabilities from alcohol introduced to him in the womb, basically implying that his mother was drinking alcohol while she was pregnant, and the fact that his attorneys did not explore that a little bit more before having him enter into a plea agreement. So the fight to save or to get a new trial, I think they're going for a new trial for Ethan, is now heating up. And if you know about Ethan Crumbley, he's the one that was accused of unaliving 4 students and injuring many others at Oxford, Oxford High School. So, chaos. FYI. I got those too. My favorites are like nerd clusters. I'm a gummy. Yeah, that's called fetal alcohol syndrome, right, Tara? But it was written differently. It didn't say fetal alcohol. I mean, I don't know if somewhere in the article it might have made mention of fetal alcoholic syndrome, but I've heard about it, but I don't know. Yummy nerds. Yeah, I'm kind of stuffing my face. I had a bowl of ice cream too, and then after all of that, I ate all this all this sugar, and then I hear I was going to be going live a little earlier, and then I get a ding dong at my my door, and my neighbor had chopped steak, mashed potatoes and gravy, and some mixed vegetables. So right when I was about to go live, then my best friend called, so I was going to eat with you guys, but she called, so I ate with her on the phone, and now you guys are getting me with candy again. I told you, candy can't stay in my house. I'm horrible with candy, peanuts. I will eat a can of peanuts like in a night. It's ridiculous. Cashews, holy smokes. Cashews and pistachios are like some of my favorites. Sweet tart ropes, I haven't tried those. Oh, great, Tara, that's nice. Nice. Chaos doesn't like the sweet tart ropes. I like candy. As long as it's good candy. I mean, there's some candy that I taste of like, that's not candy. I'm sorry, it's not candy. No. Swedish fish are dangerous. Are you being truthful? I don't eat them very often, but I do eat them. Give me just a second. There's some more stuff. There was a lot of stuff going on. I can't even see them all, but anyways. I'm good to go. I wasn't really gonna I'm not going to really talk about Sebastian right now because we're going to be doing a live over on the main channel here in a little bit. It's going to be a little more structured. I've got some things, you know, a few things. It's kind of weird because everybody's sending me emails about maps, and somebody started sending me stuff about talking about Chris's alibi. I thought, we really do need to get back to the maps. We need to look at the maps. We need to get Google Earth up. But I would like to roll straight through YouTube, and I'm having a problem because every time I go through YouTube, it hooks this phone up as a microphone, and I can't change it. And it drives me absolutely nuts, and I got to try to figure out how to change it. There are a lot of missing children out there, but there's too many to cover all of them. So when we cover one, we try to dive in. You know, we cover them and try to explain them. And this one just doesn't. This one has very clear issues with it. Oh, the Deceptive Detective. He put out a new video today. And it was on Jen Soto. And I definitely recommend everybody going over there and watching that, because that is actually a pretty good, you know, I don't always agree with all the experts 100% of the time. You know, it's not realistic, but I get a lot of good stuff out of their commentary. I learn a little tidbit here, a little tidbit there, something that can be useful. And I love the ones that try to teach you. You know, try to teach the audience to be better and to pick up on cues and stuff like that, and what cues to pick up on. That's what I love about the Deceptive Detective. Whether I agree with him or not, doesn't matter. He's the professional, and he tries to help people understand these things. And you know, so I like that. It's not just about explaining it that this is how it is. He shows you why it's that way. You know, a lot of this stuff is statistics, you know, the law of large numbers, you know, human behaviors. But he made a lot of sense with this one, because there's a lot, you know, he said stuff like body language in some respects take you away, because the body can also play tricks on itself, I guess is the, you know, I don't think he said it just like that. But it's the speech that he likes listening to, not so much the body language, if I understood it correctly. Hershey, oh gosh, Pebbles, yes. Yes. I love some chocolate. Chocolate just don't love me. But I love me some chocolate. When I visited MGL, we went, like, she lives in Hershey, Pennsylvania, so like everything, like they have Hershey Kiss light bulbs. I mean, it's a cute place. And I remember, I'm not a martini person. I don't typically drink martinis. But you know, they had a chocolate Hershey martini. Like, how can you turn away a chocolate Hershey martini? It sounded so good, and I gotta tell you, it was really strong. It was really strong. That chocolate kiss at the end really did top it off. I could handle it. What are your thoughts on Dulce Alvarez? Honestly, Seven, I haven't been watching Dulce. I haven't even looked under the hood. I've heard about it, but I have no opinion because I have no idea. I do apple is real good. The apple martini. I'm not a martini person. I really don't drink. Like, nowadays, if I drink, it's got to be something really light and really fruity. You know, I don't drink. Before, I used to do shots and Captain and Cokes and stuff like that. If it's not, I'll drink like a little fruity punch with a little bit of splash of alcohol, but I just don't get any joy out of it. So it is what it is. Caramel apple. Now we're done with our excursions. It is Sunday, praise God. And a lot of people showed up for church today. Thank you. I thought the message today at church was phenomenal. It was amazing. Real good message. Real good message. If you haven't had a chance to listen or you were busy this morning, the good news is it's online. So that means you can watch it in your spare time. And for those that really got that word this week, if you need to re-listen to it, there's got to be times that I went back and re-listened. I'm probably going to be doing that this week. But that really was a good message. I really did enjoy that. I don't think a lot of people know about the case. Well, here, let's look it up. Okay, there we go. There is Dulce Alvarez. We might have to listen to a commercial. Maybe. Why isn't it? Okay. Yeah, let's. Okay, what are they doing? I was trying to play it, but sometimes these things make it so difficult to play their commentary. And they won't, okay, let me see if I can find another. It looks like ABC won't play. Let me just see if I can find something else. Here we go.
April 25th used to be a happy day for Noema Alavez. It is her eldest daughter, Dulce Maria's birthday.
She was always worried about her cake and looking like, dressing up with a dress and looking like a princess.
But Dulce has not been home for a birthday since 2019, the year she went missing.
It's like a sad day for me.
On a warm September day in 2019, Noema took her two kids, Dulce and her younger brother Manuel, to Bridgeton City Park to play. Noema stayed in the car, scratching off a lottery ticket while she watched her kids play from afar. After a few minutes, she looked up. Dulce was gone. The case drew local, state, and federal law enforcement agencies to Bridgeton, trying to find the little girl. To this day, police aren't sure what happened to Dulce or where she is.
They can't really tell us nothing about the case because they say that will interrupt the case.
Interrupt the case, or is it that they still consider you guys suspects?
I really don't know at this point, but I think they do until she's found.
For a while, police kept the Alavez family under close watch, even serving a search warrant on their home in Bridgeton.
I know I didn't get nothing. All I do is keep up.
I can tell you, just by her speech, I don't believe her.
To know that I'm gonna see my daughter one day.
In September,
I'm gonna see my daughter one day. That's like the line of, it sounds so, I don't like the way that, I haven't watched this case, but just listening to that mom, I don't like what I'm hearing at all. So there you go, 7. I'm sorry, but that mom was entirely too calm since 2019, and she's just speaking so matter of fact. It doesn't matter if she's got broken English or not. It's behavior, not what she's saying. She's not upset. She's matter of fact. She's not crying. She's not sobbing. All these years later, it's just, she seemed like she paused a little bit, taken a little back when she was challenged on whether she's still a suspect. Obviously, after all these years, her mom is still a suspect. That's a problem for me. I don't know. Don't like that at all. Don't like that at all. And you know what? And I trust the local news out there. And that was a very pointed question. Good for whoever was given that interview. Good for whoever was given that interview. But that was, in my opinion, as someone that works in the school, has something to do with it. Have you seen it? You think somebody in the school does? That mom. I don't know. That mom. Not upset at all? Since 2019? I couldn't see the mom's fan. Actually, let me watch it. Let me watch her. Let me see something. Let me look at her.
Dulce was
I was
gone.
listening to her, not
The
looking at her.
case drew local, state, and federal law enforcement agencies to Bridgeton trying to find the little girl. To this day, police aren't sure what happened to Dulce or where she is.
They can't really tell us nothing about the case because they say that will interrupt the case.
No.
Interrupt the case, or is it that they still?
Nope. She looks Hispanic. No. That lady would be freaking out. Nope. I didn't like the way her face was. Nope. She was too matter of fact. She has her hands in her back pocket. She's just, yeah, they can't really tell us anything. You know, anything. Yeah, I'll show it again. There's no way. Not in my opinion. Hispanics are very, very, I mean, trust me, half my family, they're very, very traditional. They're very family oriented. Like you got a missing something. I'm telling you, they would be screaming to high heaven. If this is my cousin, she would be a freaking wreck.
Agencies to Bridgeton trying to find the little girl. To this day, police aren't sure what happened to Dulce or where she is.
They can't really tell us nothing about the case. Cause
I don't like that, Mom.
That
That doesn't look right.
Interrupt the case, or is it that they still consider you guys suspects?
Look at that.
I really don't know.
I don't like that. No.
They do until she's found.
For a while, police kept the Alavez family under close watch, even serving a search warrant on their home in Bridgeton.
I don't know, Drew.
All I do.
What are your thoughts? I don't know. I don't. That mom is. Wow. I mean. I don't know. She was when they asked her about whether she was a suspect, she almost looked like she wanted, like she was smirking a little bit. Seriously, she almost looks like she was smirking. I mean, I could be wrong. I might be making this up. I mean, she looks, when the lady asks her, she looks like she's smirking to me. When the camera pans to her face. Just.
Consider you guys suspects.
Look at that.
I don't know.
She's smirking.
But I think
The lady is freaking smirking. Smug. Yes. And this is, somebody asked where this is. Well, this came off the Philadelphia news. So honestly, I don't know where that. Hold on, let me just find out where this happened. Somebody will probably have it in chat before I find it. Sorry, guys. Just a little slow over here. Went missing from South New Jersey playground in 2019. South New Jersey playground. Probably a very, very busy playground that they just happened to go to. And then, mom's playing on the playground with the one and then turns around like, oh my gosh, my kid's gone. She probably made more of a scene the day that this happened than how she's acting right now. I don't know. I didn't like that mom. I'm sorry. Didn't like her. I mean, I'm telling you, Sorry, Pebbles. I don't agree with you again. I never start out agreeing with Pebbles. We need to start making a list of how much I totally disagree with Pebbles and how many times she takes me off my fence. We need to keep a score. Bullhorn Betty 0, Pebbles 1. Oh, she makes it easy for detectives. I hope they have proof soon. I know. But it just seems like that. I mean, this child's young and been missing for a really long time. Like we see, What was that one that we just saw? We just saw that one. It was just the other day. I played it where the father hasn't seen his daughter in 33 years. 33 years. And he was sitting there rocking his grandchild and tearing up about his daughter. He has not seen since the day she walked out of their house 33 years ago. And he still cries. Hey, Miss Colt. I didn't even say hi to anybody today, did I? Hey, everybody. We'll start from scratch, okay? Hi, Miss Colt. Hi, Tara. Hi, Seven. Tippy Toe True. Yes, that one, I think he had something to do with her going with. Let me go up here, Drew. I'm going to see what other comments you made, because I was talking to you and then I got sidetracked and didn't check what your responses were. Looks like she did. Yeah. So did you guys see? She smirked. She smiled also. Yep. So Drew's got it. Okay. I like Drew checking it out. I don't know why. I love you, Drew. Hey, Casual Christy, Wolf, it's nice to see you. Pebbles, Merle's mom, Drew, Lori, it's nice to see you. Sonia, hey. I'm sorry, I just come in like a steamroller going through all these cases. But we had so many cases that, just started some updates. I just happened to go on Google and there was updates because I've got, again, I'm preparing something. I need to talk to you guys about something because I got several topics, some that I think are kind of outdated at this point. So I don't know what areas what we want to explore as a group on the main channel, because we have areas of topic that I've got researched, and it's it's related to the overstimulation and what type of problems he would have, what type of outbursts would we see from him and things like that. Hey, Michelle, Bear, it's nice to see you, love. It's nice to see you. Did I say hi to Wolf? Wolf. I didn't mean for it to come out like that. Woof, woof. Maybe I'm subconsciously thinking of my woof, woof. I'm like, I talked to my BFF today, and she's like, well, we couldn't this, that, and the other. I'm like, oh, okay. And so I told her, I said, well, I'm leaving on the 14th, so, not the 14th, the 17th or the 18th, so if I don't have her by then, I said, you might be stuck with a puppy. And she's like, we'll work it out. I said, okay. I think I'm almost nervous to let her puppy sit until I get the puppy, because I don't want her taking the puppy. She already got one. She already got one. I can see the haters now. She's woo wooing. Woof woof. It's funny. So Nina, do you want to divide out different things for her? Well, to be honest with you, we're still working on some more crystal clear statements, and I think somebody has sent them, but I've been getting so many emails and I haven't been able to get to all of them. So I been trying to get up extra early and respond to them. So some of you guys are getting responses to my email at 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning. So I'm working through them, but I think like the crystal clears, I'm still looking for all the crystal clears. But listen, somebody brought up, and I don't know who it was, because I'm not in my email. It's Chris's alibi. We've been honing in on it. I even said earlier today that Chris refuses to answer when he last saw Sebastian Rogers. I keep going back through any information. I cannot determine where he has said that he has seen when the specific date that he last saw Sebastian. Was it January? And if so, what date in January? Or was his last time seeing Sebastian in February? He won't tell us that. And then more specifically, what was he doing between 9 p.m. and 5:15 a.m. in the morning? What was he doing? What was Christopher's alibi? So that's gonna be our talking points for today. But we still need more talking points, because we have a lot of dissecting to do. So that's going to be probably later today. Where are we at 4? I would probably say we're probably going to be going over maps and alibis around 8 tonight, maybe 9. It depends on how I'm feeling. That's about how it works, okay? But then we have, was Sebastian overstimulated? We've been kind of talking out of there. Obviously, did he walk out of the home? We've spent a significant time on that. We've also been kind of dovetailing into that 3-hour conversation. That has been a big point. We haven't really touched on what Katie's demeanor was like with the cops at the house. We have a small little blurb, from Seth when I did the interview that can kind of give us an idea. Try to use some of that as a foundation to speculate on, but it would be speculation because we don't know what Katie's demeanor was, other than it seemed like their conversations that they were having were inappropriate. Why did it take Katie and Chris 8 days to go to media? These are all my talking points. These are all things that I've already done research for that we have not, I have not, outlined or provided, wrote out an itinerary for these shows. So why did it appear to coincide with the time the case was publicly shifting efforts and starting to turn into an investigation and law enforcement entertaining foul play? That started happening at day 8. And I know people want to act like that didn't happen, that there's been no mention of foul play, that law enforcement says no. They said they have to entertain foul play. However, there is no evidence of foul play at this time. Now, that was repeated. I went back to make sure that that's what I heard. Also, I went on a few other people that were reiterating around that time, including Jennifer Coffindaffer, and looked through some of her commentary, and she was going over the same thing around the same time as well, leading me to believe that this information about possible foul play is in fact true. We have other talking points that I still think are viable, that I have not taken off the list because they staled. Is why did CP and KP or their family not coordinate or participate in any of these searches, vigils, and signposting, except, the only one that Chris and Seth went together on, which was trust building in my purview. A trust building exercise more than an actual search for Sebastian. So, and these talking points just go on and on and on. And then of course we start dissecting the interviews, and we realize we really have no 911 call. We can't determine the behavior or level of concern of either Chris Proudfoot or Katie at the time. We do have some audio. Somebody asked me, can we get the body cam footage of that morning, since the audio was released? And I'm thinking that if they released the audio and not the body cam footage, they probably refused to release the body cam footage for investigative means and reasons. But it sounds like Jessica has received the audios and put them in order, so we can follow those. Hey Rusty, it's nice to see ya. Now, that's a live, but it's more of a chit chat live than it is really anything else. I'm stuffing my face with gummies. Gummies. And when I don't have enough gummies, I stuff my face with ice cream. I don't know why, but when I went candy, now you guys know why I was in such a grumpy mood for 3 months. If I ran out of candy, I couldn't just jump in the car and go up to the store and get some. Like last night, I had a sweet tooth so bad it wasn't even funny. I drive up to Winn-Dixie to get some ice cream. Next thing I know, I'm getting a freaking case of Diet Coke, bags of freaking candy. I get a smaller container of ice cream so I can afford the bags of candy. I have a budget. And so long story short, but it was a nice day. I had a nice day yesterday. Yesterday was pretty good. I had steak and potatoes. I had candy. I had ice cream. I had I want to say 5 lattes. I don't think I'm going to do that again. That is weird. You know, when you have 5 lattes, your body literally goes until it just doesn't go anymore. I think that's the reason why I had fallen asleep. I was on TikTok, a TikTok live, I don't know, about a week ago. And I was there talking about something, and then all of a sudden I just yawned out of nowhere, right in the middle of a conversation, something. And it wasn't until the second one, by the second one that did that to me, I'm like, oh, I need to go, guys. It's time for me to get some sleep. Good gracious. I hope you guys enjoyed coming to church this morning. I don't really have a whole lot more. I just wanted to come with you guys and hang out with you for a little bit and go over some other cases that needed some of our attention. I wanted you guys to get up to date on those, and to remind all my beautiful people over here that we're going over there and we're going to be talking about maps and alibis, baby. Maps and alibis. You don't want to miss it. Bring your A game, look at the maps, give some ideas, give some suggestions. And if you guys would like something, knowing about that our topic's going to be Chris's alibi and maps. If you want to get something to me related to those, even if you said it before, and something is related to the maps or Chris that you want me to see before my show tonight at 8, make sure you send it to bullhornbetty@gmail.com. bullhornbetty@gmail.com. If you have any tips or leads, there's anonymous tip lines, but please don't keep it a secret. If you have anything that might lead to the whereabouts of Sebastian Rogers or Summer Wells, please reach out to 1-800-TBI-FIND, 1-800-TBI-FIND. TBI-FIND. God bless.